where you come from and what you saw in your household may be dysfunctional, which is why it's so important to go through the healing process so you can find what is actually functional and what works for you. So that when you have that relationship with yourself, you know how to love yourself properly. And then as a result, you know how to love others properly. Instead of trying to give love to everybody else and then putting yourself last. It shouldn't be that way. Yo, we back with another video. This one is, I think it's interesting just because it's coming from Future, and it sounds like he has some regrets, bro. It sounds like he has some regrets, and this is not something that I've seen him express before, and I think it's important for us to talk about it because he makes some really valid points just about relationships and how a lot of us as black men are raised. So let's just get straight into it, honestly.
I should love harder, I guess. Should have found a way to love harder. I should have found a way to love the right way.
Right.
Like, but as I go along and I learn, like I'm in a situation where I come from nothing, and I didn't have a person, a male role model to show me how to open the door for a woman, or open the door for a woman, or buy her flowers. They really like flowers. Nobody bought my mom flowers. I never see my mom get flowers.
Right.
And so it's just like I never seen that male role model just showing me how to treat a woman. So as I grew up and I get women or I get girls or whatever the situation may be, I'm in relationships. I learned through my relationships, through failed relationships, to learn how to treat the next woman. Then you fail in that relationship, learn how to treat the next one.
And that's basically it. But yo, he made so many valid points in that just 50-second clip, bro. Like, I was talking to my bros about this, and we're about to start a podcast, like an after dark podcast, where we just have like barbershop talk, and we just talk about just, you know, all the stuff that I feel like we can't really express on a day-to-day basis. And this is one of the things that we talked about. Like, we didn't have that growing up. Like, I had my pops at home. At least I had my pops. A lot of my bros didn't even have their pops. So it's like they didn't really have that male guidance to be able to teach them how to interact with partners, or like what to do on dates, or how to be civil. Like, I have an African pops. Like, he didn't talk to me about how to be romantic. That man is not romantic at all. And there's no slight to him, no offense, but that man is not romantic, bro. He don't celebrate none of the holidays. He's not interested in buying any of the gifts. And if he does do that stuff, he does it because he doesn't want to get nagged, rather than doing it because it's coming from a place of love, or him trying to add some kind of romance to the relationship. So what Future is saying is right. Like, I learned a lot about relationships from my first relationship. When I was like 14, 15 years old, I learned everything that I need to learn about relationships in that relationship, bro. Like, I didn't see my dad like kissing my mom at home and buying her flowers and buying her all these gifts and hugging her up at home and all that. I didn't see that growing up. I didn't see that. I didn't see him holding doors for her and all these different kind of things, taking her out on dates and whining and dining her. I didn't see that growing up. So it's like, yo, I get where he's coming from, bro. When you're growing up and you don't see these things in your household, you don't know how to imitate that. You don't know that it's even something that needs to be imitated because you don't know that it exists. Like, I was talking to my therapist about this. Like, I learned about how to be romantic and how to treat women and how to love properly from that first relationship, and then also from society, what I saw on social media, what I saw in movies, what I saw in TV shows, what I saw on the news. Like, that's how I learned how to be romantic, bro. That's how I learned how to love in a relationship. That's really how I learned. Like, we always talk about, oh, you know, your first relationship starts with you and you gotta love yourself properly. But a lot of us don't know how to do that because we never saw it properly displayed in our household. This is why I always tell people, like, yo, where you come from and what you saw in your household may be dysfunctional, which is why it's so important to go through the healing process so you can find what is actually functional and what works for you. So that when you have that relationship with yourself, you know how to love yourself properly. And then as a result, you know how to love others properly. Instead of trying to give love to everybody else and then putting yourself last. It shouldn't be that way.
Y'all will never do that again.
Like, a lot of us really hop from relationship. And we're doing that because we're looking for that external love that we never got in the house, bro. That's why we hop from person to person to person to person, bro. We want somebody to give us that love that we never got from our mom or our dad. And we got to be able to identify these things so that we can know how to work on them. And we know how they show up in our lives and in our relationships. We know what triggers them. Like, a lot of us have these like insecurities as a result of these households where we didn't get this love. And that plays out negatively in our relationships. The same relationships that we want to build into healthy ones, we're searching out these relationships from a place of insecurity, from a place of lack, because we never had what we were looking for growing up. Now we're in our adulthood. looking for it in other people. So I felt like it was so important to talk about what Future said because, like, bro, you can hear that there's regret there. Like, you can hear that there's regret there. But there's also a little bit of grace because it's like, bro, you just ain't have it. It's hard to give what you never received.
That's correct.
It's hard to give what you never received. And these are all things that I've said on the platform multiple times. These are not new messages, bro. Like, I say this all the time, bro. This is why I emphasize healing. This is why I wrote the Hurting and Healing ebook, where I talked about breakups and I talked about attachment styles, because attachment styles are one of the biggest things when it comes to determining how healthy your relationship is going to be. A lot of us have unhealthy attachment styles as a result of not having the proper love and support and care that we needed when we were growing up in our household. And so, like I said earlier, when we get into these relationships, we're exhibiting all of these negative, unhealthy behaviors that are forcing or pushing our partners further away from us. Even if we think we're pulling them close, it's still pushing them further away from us because we're not operating out of love. We're operating out of unhealthy attachment. And I really, really, really hope y'all get that, man. So please learn from Future, man. There are so many lessons to take from this. If you don't feel like you had that proper guidance growing up, that's what the platform is for. That's why I give the game the way I give it, because I didn't have anybody to give it to me, bro. Nobody gave it to me. I had to go out searching for all the stuff that I put in these posts. All the stuff that I put in these like 10 slide posts that y'all sit there and like on the Instagram. By the way, if you're not on the Instagram, follow the Instagram. You should see something popping up right over there. Follow the Instagram. But all the things that I put on the Instagram, on these 10 slide posts, here are 10 ways to be more romantic. Here are 10 things to do to increase emotional intimacy. Here are 20 signs of a healthy relationship. All of these things are things that I had to learn myself. That's the reason why I give the game the way I give it, because I wish I had somebody at my age, at the age where I was first starting relationships at like 14, 15, that was able to walk me through all these things. If I knew about attachment styles at 14, 15 years old, bro, and I was doing the work to heal, I could have saved myself so much heartbreak, bro. I could have saved myself so much heartbreak, and I don't want that for y'all, man. So get the Hurting and Healing ebook.
Do it.
If you can, or get in therapy, bro. Or do the research on your own, but whatever you do, don't just sit in it. Don't just sit in unresolved trauma. Don't just sit in unhealthy attachment styles. Don't just sit in that negativity, bro. Don't just sit in that lack, because what we're talking about right now is a lack of understanding, a lack of knowledge, a lack of love. Don't sit in it, bro. Do something about it. Do something about it. Do something about it, please. And you will thank yourself, and your family will thank you as well, bro. Because when you heal, you not only do something good for you, but as a result, you help everybody else that's connected to you, because you now start operating from a place of abundance. You are so much more healthy. As a result, the people around you have no choice but to become more healthy or get out of the way. And that's good for you and them. So more of the story, man, is please, please, please address that unresolved trauma, address that unhealthy attachment style, because a lot of this stuff that we see in our relationships, where we feel like we have all these different issues when it comes to finding a partner, and I can't find the right person, I can't find a good man, I can't find a good woman, and this person cheated on me, but I stayed with them for so long. I don't even know why I ignored all these red flags, and I keep on getting stepped on by people around me, and nobody takes me a lot of these things have to do with our unhealthy attachment style, bro. A lot of these things have to do with our unhealthy attachment style. Like I said, I have a whole chapter dedicated to it in the Hurting and Healing ebook. It is in the link in my description. I would not recommend it if I did not think it would help. And like with everything that I do, all of the resources that I put in that book, I had to literally fight, scratch, like everything to basically get that off of Google and YouTube, bro. And I wanted to put it in one resource for y'all, man. So I've made it super easy. And if that's not something that you want to do, hit me in the DMs on IG for therapy resources, or wait to the end of the video and the link is there. But like I said, man, let's do the healing so that we can develop these healthy relationships, and so that we don't have to continue these cycles of like trauma in all of our relationships, continue learning from all of these like really negative mistakes. There's nothing wrong with learning from your mistakes, but we want to make sure that we can minimize those mistakes. And the way that we can minimize them is by doing the healing. You'll never be fully healed, but you can get to a place where you know what healthy looks like. I hope that makes sense. For those of y'all that aren't subscribed, please subscribe to the YouTube. You should see something popping up right over there. And if you're not following the Instagram, again, the animation will pop up again. please, please, please follow the Instagram. We're having so many dope conversations on the Instagram. With that being said, Black man, it's okay to not be okay, because it is. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Yo, I'm excited, man. We're currently building the exclusive community, and it's going to have so many dope features. We're partnering with a Black organization to offer low-cost therapy to each member of the exclusive community. And when I say low cost, I mean that members will be able to get therapy sessions for less than $50, regardless of who they are and where they are. We're also going to have free ebooks and courses, including both the Hurting to Healing ebook and the therapy ebook I'm currently writing, live podcast episodes where you'll be able to interact with the guest and I in real time, community forums, exclusive merch, and categorized content so you can easily find information that may be useful to you. So go to expressyourselfblackman.com/therapy and register for early access. It's literally a 30-second process. I just need your name, email, and social media handle to make sure you get access before anyone else. And before I dip, I just want to thank you for your support. Without people like you, none of this would be possible. I can't wait to see you when we launch.
Sometimes I know you feel like you ain't got nobody to speak to. Shoulder to lean on somebody you could preach to. No, you need to hear it, my brother, I love you. We got way too much to live for.